Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
Sonny Corinthos will ask a double-cross question while Dante Falconeri's fury erupts. Lulu Spencer will also consider taking drastic action, so then's what observers can look forward to. At GH, Britt Westbourne will catch Emma Scorpio Drake by the arm and force her into a heated battle about the drama she stirred up for Rocco Falconeri. Next, Giovanni Gio Palmieri will give Brooklyn Quartermain updates on his own part in the situation. Once Gio comes clean about getting Rocco tangled up in this lab break-in mess, Dante should find out too and struggle to control his temper. While Dante has a fierce outburst, Laura Collins will have one of her own. It looks like Laura will track Professor Henry Hank Dalton down and charge him of framing Rocco, who obviously didn't trash the place like Dalton claims. There'll be plenitude of onlookers with their phones out to capture Laura losing it, so this may not do any favors for her crusade. As for Lulu Spencer, she'll articulation to Carly Spencer and feel like drastic action is necessary to keep Rocco out of Pentonville. Could Carly or indeed Lulu herself ask Jack Brennan to work some of his usual magic? Over with Rick Lansing, he'll admit to Sonny that no felony charges were on the table when he made that deal with ADA Justine Turner. Rocco also wasn't looking at any captivity time, so Sonny will wonder how effects fell piecemeal. Rick wouldn't have the answers Sonny's dogging, so Sonny will push Justine to tell him why she twice crossed his grandson. Subsequently, Rick will try to make peace with Alexis Davis since he's working on doing that with Sonny as well. Alexis will ultimately have a meeting with Felicia Scorpio, who'll explain the evidence she uncovered regarding Portia Robinson's bogus justification. Speaking of Portia, she'll wonder if Curtis Ashford changed his mind and wants to make their marriage work because of the baby. Portia may suppose that's a terrible idea and eventually learn it's what Stella Henry is pushing for since she figured out the gestation news. Away, Trina Robinson will contemplate a concession during a discussion with Kai Taylor, but he may remind her of what's at stake and demand her silence. Kai and Trina were at Drew Kane's place the night of the firing, but Kai will continue to suppose it's stylish if they keep that word to themselves. General Hospital spoilers say Drew's whodunit will bring further twists and turns, so stay tuned. There'll be an election results stunner while Jen Sidwell throws a temper hissy. And Laura Collins faces a total disaster. At Bobby's, Lulu Spencer will use Carly Spencer as her confidant on this whole Rocco Falconeri situation. Nathan West will also serve as a sounding board for Lulu and try to offer her some consolation. Jack Brennan will ultimately quiz Carly, so he may be curious about what really happened in the lab and why Rocco broke in. Carly may explain the illegal beast testing proposition that the teens were trying to prove and assure Brennan that Rocco didn't destroy the lab like Professor Henry Hank Dalton claims. Dalton may push Sidwell past his breaking point in the coming occurrences since Sidwell will indeed blow his top. Laura will rip into Dalton intimately and may face a setup if Sidwell has Dalton tossed in front of her auto-laterally. Whatever the case, GH spoilers say Laura will indeed face some kind of disastrous road incident that Nathan investigates, so we'll bring you updates on all the mayhem. Of course, the election results will also make some serious swells, especially if Laura loses to Ezra Boyle. Still, Ezra could be tangled up in a different plot as well if he was with Jacinda Bracken the night Drew Kane got shot. Jacinda claims she was alone at her hostel when she was with Michael Corinthos, but she's presumably deceiving him on that. Harrison Chase seems poised to figure out Jacinda's taradiddle and deliver the Ezra news to Alexis Davis ultimately. Alexis will also have a discussion with Felicia Scorpio about Portia Robinson's deception since her own justification doesn't add up. Next, let's talk about Giovanni Gio Palmieri since he'll tell the verity about leading Rocco down the lab break-in path. Brooklyn Quartermain may be a little further understanding about the situation than Mealy Dante Falconeri. During a night out with Jacinda, Michael will make sure she trades prolusions with Sonny Corinthos. There'll be some tense moments since Sonny may make it clear that he's not on board with this arrangement. Michael will also push for peace in the coming occurrences, so he may try to help Gio and Dante get back to relating. Gio will ultimately open up to Sonny about the mess he caused and will get some good advice. After Marco Rios shares a mess with Lucas Jones and Ava Jerome, he'll reach a pivotal choice. Will that involve digging an indeed bigger Sidwell-related hole when it comes to Marco's relationship with Lucas? Vaughn will also demand a meeting with Jocelyn Jacks, so he may formally again sound the alarm over how dangerous her rearmost charge is. General Hospital spoilers say the week of November 17, 21 will bring some conflict and growing enterprises, so stay tuned. With the election over, people are in shock. Laura can hardly believe what's passing, but Sidwell has commodity differently to be furious about. Britt is also fuming about Rocco being railroaded and Jason isn't thrilled with how she's handling it. And Carly has to keep her cool. Jack grills her and Emma finds indeed further to rage about. Monday's GH, November 17, Britt and Emma face off. Lulu confides in Carly. Trina wants to confess. Alexis confers with Felicia. Dante loses his temper. Tuesday's GH, November 18, Jason offers in reason. Dante opens up to Lulu. Sidwell is left fuming. Britt issues and claim. Brennan questions Carly. Wednesday's General Hospital, November 19, the election results are in. Alexis missions Jason. Emma is outraged. Vaughn process Joss. Nathan provides an observance to Lulu. Thursday's General Hospital spoilers, November 20, Laura makes a shocking discovery. Britt is shaken. Lucas and Marco dine with Ava. Michael introduces Jacinda to Sunny. Chase furthers his investigation. Friday's GH spoilers, November 21, Michael plays interceder. Chase has news for Alexis. Marco makes a big decision. Gio confides in Sunny. Jason grills Britt. The week of November 17 to 21, 2025, in Port Charles is poised to be a tectonic shift in the landscape of General Hospital. What begins as simmering tensions over a teenager's mistake erupts into a full-blown crisis that threatens to topple political careers, dismantle fragile alliances, and expose the deep-seated corruption festering beneath the city's surface. This is a week where loyalties are tested, secrets strain to break free, and the line between justice and vengeance becomes dangerously blurred. At the center of the storm is the Falconeri family, fighting for their son's future, while the powerful and the principled collide in a dramatic showdown. The Rocco Falconeri case, a legal tinderbox ignites. The seemingly straightforward case of Rocco Falconeri's lab break-in has transformed into a complex legal nightmare, revealing a web of deception that ensnares everyone it touches. The initial understanding was that Rocco, after nobly exposing himself to protect his friends Danny Morgan and Charlotte Cassadine, would face a simple misdemeanor, a stern warning and perhaps community service for a youthful error in judgment. This perception was shattered in a courtroom bombshell delivered by ADA Justine Turner, who revealed the damage to Professor Hank Dalton's lab was far more extensive and costly than initially reported, escalating the charges to a felony with the very real, terrifying prospect of prison time. This drastic turn of events does not simply happen, it is the result of a deliberate act, a pivot in the legal strategy that catches everyone off guard and sets the stage for a week of explosive confrontations. Monday, November 17, Confrontations and Confidants. The week kicks off with emotions running at a fever pitch. The fallout from the heightened charges is immediate and visceral. A mother's desperation, Lulu Spencer, faced with the unimaginable prospect of her son being sent to Pentonville, is in a state of pure panic. Her instinct leads her to the one person in Port Charles who understands fighting for a child against impossible odds, Carly Spencer. At Bobby's, a place that has long been a sanctuary for hard truths, Lulu unloads her fears. She confesses to Carly that she is considering drastic action, a phrase that hangs heavy in the air. Could this involve reaching out to the one man who operates outside the law with impunity, Jack Brennan? The idea of asking Brennan to work his usual magic is a dangerous gambit, one that would indebt the Falconeri family to a known criminal. Carly, ever the pragmatist, may advise caution, but her own history shows she is not above leveraging dark alliances to protect her own. A doctor's fury, at General Hospital, the situation triggers a different kind of protector. Dr. Britt Westbourne, whose connection to the family runs deep, takes the matter into her own hands, literally. She confronts Emma Scorpio Drake, whom she clearly believes is partially responsible for the drama she stirred up for Rocco. This is not a polite conversation. As Emma attempts to leave, Britt physically detains her, snatching her by the arm and forcing a heated confrontation. Britt's fury is raw and protective, a lioness defending a cub she sees as being unfairly targeted. She demands answers and accountability, declaring that Emma isn't going anywhere until they get a few things straight. A secret weighing heavy, across town, Trina Robinson is grappling with her own conscience. The burden of a secret she carries about the night of Drew Kane's shooting is becoming unbearable. In a conversation with Kai Taylor, she contemplates a confession, seeking the catharsis of truth. However, Kai is the voice of cold, hard reality. He will likely remind her of the immense stakes, their freedom, their futures, and the further chaos a confession could unleash. He demands her silence, forcing Trina to continue living with a truth that is slowly eating away at her. The legal web unravels. The day's most significant revelation comes from Rick Lansing. In a meeting with Sonny Corinthos, Rick admits a crucial fact: when he originally cut a deal with ADA Justine Turner, no felony charges were on the table, and Rocco was not facing any prison time. This information is a grenade. It confirms Sonny's suspicion that the situation was deliberately worsened. Rick, however, is in the dark about the reason for this prosecutorial pivot. This lack of answers fuels Sonny's next move. He will directly confront Justine Turner, demanding to know why she double-crossed his grandson. This confrontation is a critical test for their fledgling, flirtatious alliance. If it was built on sand, this could wash it away completely. Tuesday, November 18th, ultimatums and questions. As the pressure mounts, tempers flare and lines are drawn more firmly in the sand. Dante eruption. Dante Falconeri, a man whose entire career has been built on upholding order and control, is pushed past his breaking point. The news of the escalated charges, compounded by his own feelings of powerlessness to protect his son, triggers a fierce, uncontrollable outburst. This is not the calm, collected Detective Port Charles knows. This is a father's raw, unfiltered rage at a system that is failing his child. Britt's hard line. Meanwhile, Britt Westbourne, unsatisfied with her previous confrontation, issues a stark ultimatum. The recipient is unclear. It could be Emma, the hospital administration, or even the DA's office, but its message is unmistakable: rectify this injustice, or there will be severe consequences. Her methods may be unorthodox and aggressive, but they underscore the depth of her commitment to Rocco's cause. Brennan's interest. Jack Brennan's radar is piqued. He questions Carly, ostensibly about the lab incident. Is he genuinely curious, or is he probing for weaknesses, looking for a new angle to manipulate? Carly, deep in her own mission to take Brennan down, must walk a tightrope, providing enough information to seem cooperative while guarding the truth about the teen's investigation into illegal animal testing and ensuring she doesn't inadvertently put Rocco in even greater danger. Wednesday, November 19th. Political shockwaves and new alliances. The week reaches a pivotal midpoint as the city's political future is decided, and new investigative paths emerge. Election results shock. The results of the mayoral election are finally revealed, and they send a shockwave through Port Charles. Whether Laura Collins retains her seat or loses to Ezra Boyle, the outcome is a stunning upset that will redefine the city's power structure. A loss for Laura would be a devastating blow, not just personally but for the entire moral compass of the city. A conduit of information, Alexis Davis continues to position herself as a central hub of intelligence. She briefs Jason Morgan on developments, solidifying their strategic partnership. More importantly, she meets with Felicia Scorpio, who presents the proof she has uncovered regarding Portia Robinson's bogus alibi. This discovery is a ticking time bomb for the Robinson-Ashford family, threatening to expose Portia's deception at the most vulnerable time. An ominous summons. In a darker corner of the city, the mysterious S. Vaughn returns, demanding a meeting with Jocelyn Jacks. Vaughn, a figure synonymous with danger, likely aims to sound the alarm once more about the perilous nature of her current mission, a warning Jocelyn may be too headstrong to heed. Thursday, November 20th, shocking discoveries and tense introductions. The fallout from the election and the Rocco case continues to spiral, leading to public spectacles and private confidences. Laura's public accusation, fresh from the election results, and potentially fueled by a devastating loss, Laura Collins tracks down Professor Henry Hank Dalton. In a very public setting, with bystanders readily capturing the moment on their phones, she unleashes her fury, accusing him of framing Rocco. She knows Rocco did not trash the lab to the extent Dalton claims. This public meltdown, while cathartic, could be a political disaster, painting her as unstable or desperate and potentially undermining any remaining authority she holds. A shaken Brit, the consequences of Brit's aggressive tactics begin to surface. The spoilers indicate she is shaken, suggesting that her ultimatum may have backfired or triggered a threat she didn't anticipate. The situation is escalating beyond her control. A fateful meeting. In a moment ripe with tension, Michael Corinthos formally introduces Jacinda Breckel to his father, Sonny Corinthos. This is more than a simple meet and greet, it is a high-stakes assessment. Sonny, with his sharp instincts for deception and danger, is unlikely to be charmed by Jacinda's facade. He may make it abundantly clear that he is not on board with this arrangement, creating immediate friction with Michael and casting a long shadow over their fake relationship. Friday, November 21st, Truths, Advice, and Critical Choices. The week concludes with confessions, peacemaking efforts, and decisions that will chart the course for future conflicts. The truth comes out. Giovanni Gio Palmieri, burdened by guilt, finally comes clean to Brooklyn Quartermain about his role in leading Rocco down the path to the lab break-in. While Brooklyn may be understanding, the same cannot be said for Dante Falconeri, who will likely learn the truth and struggle to contain his fury toward the young man he once bonded with. A patriarch's guidance, Gio also seeks out Sonny Corinthos, confessing the mess he caused. In a moment that reveals Sonny's capacity for unexpected mentorship, he offers Gio good advice. This scene highlights Sonny's complex nature, a ruthless mob boss who can also be a surprisingly sage and calming influence on the younger generation. The peacemaker, Michael, ever the diplomat in the Corinthos family, pushes for peace. He may attempt to mediate between the furious Dante and the remorseful Gio, hoping to salvage their relationship and find a united path forward to help Rocco. Jason's interrogation. The week ends with Jason Morgan grilling a shaken Brit. He is undoubtedly concerned about her methods and the target she may be painting on her own back. Jason operates on cold logic, and Brit's emotionally charged crusade is likely a source of great concern for him, setting up a potential clash between heart and head in the fight for Rocco. Interwoven fates, the larger tapestry of Port Charles. The Rocco case is not happening in a vacuum. Several other storylines are advancing, their threads destined to intertwine with the central drama. The Drew Kane whodunit, Trina and Kai's secret is a powder keg. Their presence at Drew's place the night of the shooting is a fact that could rewrite the entire investigation. As long as they remain silent, the true culprit remains hidden, and they live under the constant threat of exposure. Portia's deception and Stella's plan. Portia Robinson grows suspicious that Curtis Ashford's potential desire to reconcile is motivated solely by her pregnancy. She correctly senses that this is a terrible foundation for rebuilding a marriage. Her suspicions are confirmed when she learns it is Stella Henry who is pushing for the reunion, having figured out the pregnancy news. This familial pressure adds immense strain to an already fractured relationship. Chase's investigation. Harrison Chase is diligently following the evidence in the Drew Kane case. He is poised to uncover Jacinda Brecken's lie about being alone at her hotel, potentially discovering she was actually with mayoral candidate Ezra Boyle. This connection would be explosive, linking a key figure in a criminal investigation to the city's potential new mayor. Chase will deliver this bombshell news to Alexis, adding another layer of conspiracy to the week's events. Marco's decision. After a tense meal with Lucas Jones and Ava Jerome, Marco Rios reaches a crucial choice. His relationship with Lucas is already complicated by his connections to the sinister Jen Sidwell. Will he choose Lucas and a clean life, or will he dig an even deeper hole by further entangling himself in Sidwell's corrupt enterprises? A city on the brink. The week of November 17th to 21st is a true baptism by fire for the residents of Port Charles. It begins with encouraging words whispered between confidants in quiet coffee shops, but it is ultimately dominated by the angry threats of a justice system perverted, a mother's fierce public defense, and a doctor's ruthless ultimatums. The Rocco Falconeri case ceases to be a simple legal matter and becomes a catalyst, exposing the rot within Port Charles's institutions, from the DA's office to the university lab to the mayor's office itself.